National Bank of Iraq tutorial. With simple steps, you can now deposit your money through ATMs with ease. The ATM tutorial about ability to make deposits into the ATMs is not only a convenience for Iraqis, but another way for the CBI to collect 30 notes that may be in the dinar mattresses. $3.22 is the actual reinstatement. They're not going to reinstate it. But it would be enough to launch it into the float. Let the float take care of it. The float will take it up to $3.86, $4.25, $4.72. Inflation is the reason why they have been doing this RV that's leading into an RI, but the RE is not feasible. Therefore, due to inflation, a float is necessary to take it to the real effective exchange rate, which may be around the numbers I suggested. Will the rate be fixed or a float? Mark Z. I don't look for a wild float but a very controlled or fixed float. If there is a float, I can't see more than a 2-5% change is allowed in a float. I am not looking for wild swings. Of course we won't know until we get there. It's possible $3.22 or higher. To me it doesn't make sense to start at 0.76 cents or $1.32 to take 15-20 years to wait for it to grow. They need to start closer to their end goal. It looks like to me $1.32 is our worst case scenario. National Bank of Iraq tutorial. With simple steps, you can now deposit your money through ATMs with ease. We are extremely close. Will the rate be fixed or a float? Militiaman. Saleh, who is the Prime Minister's financial advisor, has released several articles on this. I think a managed float is exactly what they are talking about. It's a form of a fixed, and a form of a float. It's a component of both. If there was to be growth, it would be as conservative as they can. They will need to keep the rate stable on the dinar. Contractors would not appreciate rate or price changes every day. Remember the reinstatement rate 20 years ago of $3.22. Even the IMF has documents stating this was a relevant number. If it came out at that, they would keep the rate in a relevant range. Could it grow from there? It could. And they could adjust that accordingly but would probably keep it pretty tight. Are we RVing this weekend, Marks? Mark Z. There is a lot of crazy anticipation again. Stay calm, but it's been a weird quiet news day, almost like the whole world is waiting. When you hear somebody tell you that, hey, in one country you cannot move forward and rebuild with huge projects with an exchange rate of 1,320 of your currencies for $1 foot, just say, oh yeah? Look at Vietnam, who has 26,000 of their currencies for every $1 and they continue to move forward. Iraq is still moving forward with their monetary reform and the project to delete the zeros. Alak has stated this and Sadani refers to it. In the 2024 budget they mention numbers that mirrors what al-Sadani says. They are doing a $4.9 billion pipeline to go through Jordan. If you do the math, the rate comes out real close to what al-Sadani said, which is about $1.32. This effectively deletes the zeros. It is not a lop. A member of the Parliamentary Investment Committee announced the committee's intention to amend the investment law. Mohammed al-Zayadi told Al-Farad News Agency, there is no investment in the country due to the lack of clarity in the investment law, which constitutes a major problem, but after the end of the legislative recess, the committee will work on amending the investment law. He added, the political situation has nothing to do with the law because it is related to the service aspect, and the goal of amending the law is to be at the level of moral investment in the country. It is noteworthy that the Parliamentary Investment Committee justified its effort to amend some investment laws in order to attract foreign investments and capital because some paragraphs of the laws related to investment conflict with sustainable development in Iraq, including the investment law, the companies law, and others. Hamoudi al-Lami, advisor to the Prime Minister for Industry, Development and Private Sector Affairs, today, Friday, detailed the most prominent government decisions and privileges granted to industrial projects, while confirming that Iraq has achieved self-sufficiency in rebar and cement. Al-Lami said, the recent decisions of the Council of Ministers granted many privileges to owners of industrial projects, pointing out that, the Prime Minister confirmed that Iraq is about to establish industrial cities in Baghdad and all governorates, and the cities will need large quantities of construction materials that include rebar, cement, bricks, paints, pipes, etc.